All set. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay, Tim, so if you don't mind just telling me your first and last name and then spelling it for me.
Okay, Michaela, it's Tim, Tim, and it's Shepherd, Shep, P as in Paul, Herd.
Alrighty, okay, Tim. So can you kind of give me a brief overview about your cancer experience when you first found out you had lung cancer?
Absolutely. So it was a Friday, and it was December, I believe it was December 13th of 2019. And I was not feeling well. Felt my throat was felt kind of like it was swollen, and then my chest hurt on the right side when I would cough. And so I had my doctor, my wonderful family doctor, was out of town. So the next morning I didn't feel any better, so I went to an urgent care. Well, I was there for a couple hours, and I didn't realize urgent care didn't have doctors. They only had PAs. And so the gentleman that helped me, he was nice, but he wanted to do x-rays. And then he said that it just looks like that it was irritated, and that he put me on a prescription. Well, I knew something. That didn't make sense to me. So my wonderful doctor called me, and Paul Davis, he's fantastic. He called me on Monday. He said, Tim, he said, I saw you went to urgent care. I'm sorry I wasn't here. He said, we need to get you in for a CT scan. He said, I'm going to get that scheduled immediately. So he did. I got really sick on Thursday, and my younger sister and my brother-in-law came to, they live in Wilkes, so they came here. They took me to the emergency room there at Forsyth. And they were wonderful, but they actually thought I was having a heart attack. And so I wasn't having a heart attack. I explained to them that I was just hurting through there. Well, the doctor there, the emergency room doctor there, came back and he said, you have a large spot. That's how he worded it, on your right lung and up above it. And he said, and you're swollen right here, it looks like your lymph node. He said, we really need to get you into Salem chest specialist, to the doctor, and I cannot remember his name. I apologize. So they scheduled that appointment. It was the day after Christmas. So I had to go through Christmas in this feeling this way, and worry and everything. However, my faith, my family, my friends got me through it. Went the next day and met with them, had a PET scan, and then my oncologist, which is, he's absolutely amazing. His name is Garrett Sherwood, and his colleague, his name is Jonathan McGirt. They are absolute. I can't say enough about these two individuals. They are absolutely amazing. And so Dr. Sherwood immediately called me, got me in on January 5th. My sister and brother-in-law went with me. And so he explained, he took so much care in explaining because it was hard. I mean, he was telling me I had stage 4 lung cancer. Well, that's how my father passed away in September of 97. Michaela, as soon as I heard stage 4 lung cancer, all I heard was all I could see was my father, because my father went. It was a terrible experience for him. God rest his soul, and that's all I could think about. But Dr. Sherwood, took such great care. He explained what the treatments that he was suggesting. My brother-in-law and my sister is absolutely wonderful. They asked a ton of questions that I couldn't even think about, because all I was hearing was stage 4 lung cancer. And so they asked the great questions. Dr. Sherwood said that he wanted to go ahead and have me to meet with the surgeon that was going to remove the tumor in my lymph node here. And then they would start my treatments on January 21st. And this was on January 5th when I was meeting with him. Things could not go quick enough. I wanted it tomorrow. Can we do treatments tomorrow? So anyway, I went to the surgeon. They met with the surgeon. Both my sisters and both my brother-in-laws went. Got such a wonderful family. And so they went with me, and he scheduled the surgery. And it was the week before my treatments. And they removed the lymph node. And Ellen has a picture of me before I went into surgery and all my silver. But it was scary. It was very scary. And so, of course, I had all bandaged here. And then I went to my first treatment. My sister went with me on January 21st. And I'll never forget, I have my scar where they did my first chemo. I was having 2 chemos and Keytruda. And so I walked into the room, and when we walked in, my sister and myself, we sat down, and I just started crying. And my sister did too. The patients in there was people in wheelchairs, there were people on oxygen, and I'm sitting there and I'm thanking my Heavenly Father that I'm not on those. Yes, I have stage 4. Yes, I'm getting ready to go through treatments. I don't know what's ahead of me, but I'm not on oxygen. There's so many things I was thanking God for during this time of my first treatment. And my sister was doing the same thing. So the nurses was absolutely wonderful. And they had it on the chemo room was on the first level of Novant, the cancer center there. Now it's on a second level. They got a second level. It's wonderful. It's huge. And so after that, I was told I would be, I'd be not really nauseous because they gave me nauseous medicine, but I would ache. I'd have a lot of aching and maybe not much of an appetite, but I mean, Dr. Sherwood had me on all kinds of medicine to make sure that I was taking the right things, drinking. I was supposed to, be eating all of this. And my family and my 2 best friends, one which flew from Dallas, Texas several times, unselfishly to see me and help take care of me, and my best friend in Charlotte. They were wonderful. My whole family was incredible. The nurses at the cancer center, from the lab nurses to the nurses for Dr. Sherwood and Dr. McGurk's nurses, the chemo nurses, I'll tell you, amazing. I mean, from the time I step in, from the receptionist till the time I leave, to the wonderful gentleman at the door that is making sure people are in wheelchairs, they need to be, etc. Amazing. They're wonderful people. And to me, they have become family. And it really brings tears to my eyes because they're so special to me. And yes, I'm still going through treatments, but let me tell you, I'm so grateful to my God. He is so wonderful because he gets me through every day, because that's the first thing I say every morning is give me the energy and give me the strength to get through each day. And he does, and he has blessed me. And I tell you, I want to, I really, hopefully I would like to, a couple of days, even though I'm still having treatments, I would like to volunteer, because there's so many people that are alone in this journey and need support, need to hear words of encouragement. And I want to help with that and show them, and, who knows when my time is up, but I will tell you, I'm going to enjoy what time I have. And I'm going to thank God for everything and everybody that has been through this with me. It's a difficult journey, but I'm going to tell you, God only knows when he's ready. And so when he's ready for me, he's going to be ready for me, and I'm at peace with that. But as long as he's giving me this time, I'm going to take advantage of everything. And I want to help and be support to others.
That's such a beautiful story. I was going to say you really answered all of my questions. I do have a few more questions for you, though. I want to touch on when you said you found out, you had stage 4 cancer, because typically when people hear stage 4, that normally means, we're kind of at the end of the road. There's not much that can be done. So when you heard that, and then on top of that, we're going into 2020, that's when the whole world just kind of shut down. So again, kind of what was your thought process? Stage 4 cancer, and then boom, we have COVID, and it's just like, you don't want to have stage 4 lung cancer on top of COVID. So, were you terrified? Were you just, really strong in your faith? What was that like for you?
Michaela, that's a great question, and thank you for asking. And I will tell you, it was scary because my sister, like I said, my sister was going with me, and then of course, my best friends, they were wanting to go. I had 2 wonderful coworkers that I absolutely adore. They said, "We're going. When can we go? What date?" And so, I had somebody there, and everybody that was there. And then March 13th hits. And so both my sisters go in with me, and it's the Tuesday after, and the nurses immediately, they're taking the temperature and they say, "We're so sorry, you can't go in." And I said, "I've got to have my sisters." And they said, "We're so sorry, Mr. Shepherd, but they're not able to come in." And I just didn't realize the impact of this COVID. I didn't really understand it because I was focusing on the stage 4 lung cancer. And so my sisters were wonderful. They said, "Don't worry, we're going to be right here in the car. Look outside, look at us. We're here with you, even though we can't be right there beside us." And so that's what we had to do. But let me tell you what made that. It was because you do need a support person. COVID really was not a good thing for us that were having treatments, because you need a person there with you. But let me tell you what turned out happening, Michaela, was the nurses were my support. Oh, they were wonderful. They would, it. I can't tell you the pain that it is when those chemo shots go in and injections. But I'll tell you, they made me forget it because they're talking to me. They knew we were alone. By the way, being short-staffed on their end, they were working. I mean, they were working just nonstop. And they made time to make sure I was okay. They would check in with me. They would bring me cheese crackers. They would bring me a Coke. They would say, "Do you need a blanket?" They would just come in and talk to me. I mean, I met 2 nurses that I went to school with and didn't even recognize, and they recognized me. I met one girl that that worked for me, and I promoted, and she's working at Novant now. And she said, "Mr. Shepherd, I know that's not you," and just hugged me, and we just started crying and stuff. And so those are the things that got me through that horrible COVID time.
And, I guess, I don't know if it's safe to say we're out of COVID. I'll just say things with COVID are a bit more relaxed. So I know going through 2020 through 2021, you probably weren't able to have, a true Thanksgiving or a true Christmas. So how special is this Thanksgiving going to be for you on Thursday now that you're in remission, correct? I think I said that correctly.
No, not in remission, but I'm still having my treatment,
Mhm.
and I'm going to ring that bell one day. I'm going to be in remission one day, so I'm not there yet, but I still think I will be one day. So,
Oh,
but
yeah. But just, how does it feel to be able, I guess, to have a somewhat normal Thanksgiving, considering, COVID, and then, you're really going into your treatments. But this year, I'm assuming you'll be able to kind of have a relaxed Thanksgiving.
yeah.
So just how special is this going to be for you?
It's going to be extremely special. First of all, I was able to be with my sisters and their family during COVID. They would not let me be alone, and of course they took, they took precautions. We take precautions. Of course, I wore a mask. They would not be around me unless I had a mask. And so, but this time, this is going to be the most joyous, most wonderful Thanksgiving. We're going to, my birthday actually is Sunday, so it's the
Oh, happy
27th.
early birthday.
Thank you. So we're gonna enjoy Thanksgiving, but we're also going to celebrate my birthday and everything, and it's just going to be such a wonderful time because my nephew has a new baby. He got married last year, and they have a new baby. My niece has a new baby. Sure, he has a little girl, my little great niece, which is 6. So there's 2 new babies, which I just adore and love. And so it's just going to be the best Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I'm just grateful to, again, I'm grateful to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and God for it. I'm just so grateful.
Oh, I love that for you. And last question for you. Um, since you've had this experience and you went through this experience with COVID, does this make you, appreciate life a little bit more? Do you take time to, stop and smell the roses, as people would say? Do you kind of just, sit and just take everything in and just, take your time doing more things?
Yes. I worked for almost 41 years, and I'd be up at 4:30 in the morning, and I would stop about 6 in the evening, 6:30 in the evening. And let me tell you, um, I missed so much, and I thought to myself, why didn't you just stop? And now that I have to, I am cherishing every moment. I'm enjoying every moment. I am, like I said, my family's in Wilkes, so I go to Wilkes a lot, and I see my family. I spend as much time with them. I spend time with my best friend that lives in Charlotte, but they have a place in Boone. I go see my best friend in Dallas. I've only done that once because I'm have to be very careful with the traveling that way. However, but I'm also cherishing moments, here. I love reading my goodness, my upper room in the mornings, my devotionals. That's the first thing I do every morning is I read my devotionals. But really studying the Bible, I've spent more time in church for the first time in all my life. I always wanted to do this. Even when I was a child, I always wanted to do this. Michaela, I got to teach Bible school in June. And so that was so wonderful. I didn't, there was things I was limited, but I got to do it. And I'm just so grateful for that. And it was wonderful. And my little great niece was in the class, and it was wonderful. And there's things I'm getting to do with my church as well that I never got the chance to do.
Oh, I love that for you. And then last question for you. Is there anything you'd like to say to someone who may be going through cancer, or they may have lost a loved one to cancer, or, maybe even just COVID? Is there any kind of advice or words that you'd like to offer to someone who may be going through something and they see this?
Yes. The first thing I would say is prayer. I definitely would say prayer. Ask for faith and strength. I would also tell you to build relationships with the people that are tending to you, that are caring for you. They're human beings just like us. They may have experienced. I met a couple a couple of nurses that had loved ones that had gone through this. They got to tell me their story, and that meant a lot to me. Get to know the people that are helping you. I know that when you go to have your treatments, or even if COVID, if you're sick, you don't feel good. You don't want to sit there and have a conversation. However, just how are you? How are you? Tell me a little bit about you. You've been so kind. You've been so nice. You don't know what that means to somebody like me for what I'm going through. It brings just joy to me. I would just say, talk to your people, because that's helping you, because they can become your family, and they can be a huge support. Nurse navigators. I cannot say enough about Angie, my nurse navigator, Angie Swain. She was absolutely wonderful. So those that have nurse navigators, they're your support. You can talk to them. You can, speak to them about how you're feeling. If you don't feel good, or if you've got something on your mind, that's what I would say. But prayer is the number one.
All right. And is there anything else you want to say, add or mention?
I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for this time, for allowing me to share my journey. And again, just everybody, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Just thank you. And I appreciate it. I'm grateful for everybody. I just appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. And again, happy early birthday. And I can't wait to hear your story when you ring that bell. So when you ring the bell, we're going to do another interview, okay?
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. And listen, you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You as well. Don't eat too much turkey, okay?
All right, Michaela. And can I ask you, could somebody let me know if this is going to be on so my sisters can see?
Yes, this will be on at 6 o'clock tonight. And if you miss it, I can email Ellen a link to the story so you'll be able to find it.
Okay, you're wonderful. You've been so kind. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.